What were the events that happened during the last day of the Marcos regime, which was 25th February 1986?
You know, people are already happy because the moment they got the news that Marcos is gone, I believe as if that's it. The euphoria, the victory of peaceful revolution. It's something like that. And unbelievable, trust me, I have seen in my whole life, because, by that time I was already, that was 86, I was 46 years old. And I've been, they called me martial law baby. And I'm a part of the Marcos dictatorship. And then Marcos being gone, as if everybody's free, everybody's so happy. But you can see how people are dedicated and how they show their love for their country. The cleanliness in the street after all those thing in the Edsa, they clean the street and everybody's so happy. So I would say really that was a real pain for the Filipino people. It's gone. And they like to go forward and to look forward. And I believe that people power is a divine blessing, the great gift God has given to the Filipino people. Again, definitely, that faith in God is there, and the shining moment. So for me, it's what we call Edsa revolution, people power, is the power from God, bringing people together to change the government, to change the people, and change the heart of the people. So I hope that to be something permanent, something every Filipino, every human being can treasure. That Edsa 1 is an event, tragic in a sense, some negligent violence that had happened, some were killed, but generally it was a peaceful transition from a form of government, which no political scientist has ever seen, because they have thought this will be a bloody one because of who Marcos is, the suppression of human rights, no media controlled, economy controlled, everything controlled by one man. So they thought the transition should be very violent.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that there were some killings involved. History said that it was a bloodless revolution. How do you...
When I say killing, there is some people were shot. The assault at Channel 4, there's no doubt about that, because there are some snipers who were there trying to kill people. That was my thought, that was my understanding. So the signal was given, okay, shoot the snipers, because the snipers will trigger violence, because somebody who has just a gun or just a Molotov bomb that will explode, that people power will become occasion for violence, civil war will erupt. That's my thought, because and unbelievable, for those 3 days, nothing happens. And I believe if only one mistake, just one human error, and I think the bloody violence will happen. But so there was some, when I say killing, that was done, negligible. One had a heart attack. And I think there are some in some situations here and there. I don't have enough data, but there is some. But
rebel soldiers between
but
Marcos
what is worse for me
soldiers.
is the people that were massacred by the Marcos dictatorship, people who were imprisoned by Marcos dictatorship, human families were destroyed, communities that were destroyed. The masses of people were not given the opportunity to have a decent life. Those were the most violence that I can see. Poverty is violence for me. Because that is institutionalized violence. When there's no freedom, when there is no respect for human rights, for me that is violence in itself.
How do you think the international community accepted or appreciated people power?
Phenomenal. Trust me. In America, they were telling me, I was not here, I was there. But when I migrated here, people were saying, wow, every Filipino was very proud to be a Filipino. That was only time they say, I am a Filipino. I'm very, very proud of their identity as a Filipino American at that time. And I joined the Corps' visit to the United States that year, and I could see even the Congress in the Senate, how she was being accepted in the U.S. government. Wow. Some
standing ovations.
Yeah, as if it was our hero's welcome. So you can see that people power is something unique, phenomenal, that a contribution to the whole world, that a change can happen without any bloodshed. If there is any, a negligent one.
How about after People Power won? What do you think the Filipinos did correctly, or what the government did correctly, or what were actually the faults of the government, if any, after
I think
Edsa won?
everyone can be faulted on this. The Filipino people themselves, the government, those who were elected. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I believe there should be a consistent metanoia, conversion of heart, a real change of heart, a real cultural revolution. It wasn't sustained, the spirit. And people keep on like the crab mentality, they to grab one another, and people are not given the benefit of the doubt, benefit of leadership of courage. So it's a real shame that the spirit was not sustained in such a way. We're caught in such a moment, there is no real program for change. Maybe they were caught in a system, or at least, again, the Filipino people are not ready for a change. I really don't know, I'm so confused. But what I can say is that Filipino people are worth dying for, and we have really to sustain changing of heart, cultural revolution in a sense, really love for the country, unselfishness, and not to be greedy when you have in power. Power corrupts. Once you get the responsibility, the authority, that authority should be an opportunity to serve the people, especially the poor and the oppressed and the marginalized.
How do you think, as a last question, should Filipinos in the Philippines, and even Filipino Americans here in America, and other Filipinos outside, how do you think they should view Edsa 1? Or what are your reflections on it?
You know, I'm very proud of Edsa 1. That's a people power. And I believe that was the first time people power was used positively. But then I'm afraid of it might be manipulated, exploited, and used for a personal interest again. So I think people power should be respected. And for me, the sanctity of people power, of really bringing people together for the sake of transforming a government into a government of the people, serving the needs of the people, especially the poor and the oppressed. But I'm just afraid of that. But again, Edsa 1 is something like an Exodus event in the Bible. It is just like the transformation of liberation from bondage of slavery towards the promised land overflowing with milk and honey. That is real, the transfiguration of Jesus. That still, when Jesus was still a human being himself, was transfigured to show to the whole world, hey, I'm a human, man as you. But then I transfigure a little to tell you, there is paradise, there is a goodness to come, there will be heaven. Just like that, telling us there is hope, there is an opportunity. So Edsa 1 should be taken as an opportunity for change, a leadership of service, and a real generosity of heart, and not to be greedy. And the power should be used as a power to serve the people in need.
Do you think in the last 22 years there's really milk and honey and the paradise in the Philippines?
Here and there, I don't have much, you know, when I became a citizen, it's not I neglected our country, but I had to give a fair chance to where I am as an American. So I get involved in the mainstream of America. But then I think during Ramos' regime, the economy is a real growth. So this is a good opportunity.